There are all types of friends. Those that cheer you up, those that are the life of the party. Some are work friends, and then of course there are childhood friends. But that very special friend that really gets you is probably an HSP or highly sensitive person. If you're an HSP, you probably have a very small but close circle of friends, and you are probably the one person they can count on to be there through thick and thin. Your friends feel safe with you, and your sensitivity is one of the greatest gifts you bring to the people you love. So today, let's talk about why everyone needs an HSP friend. And if you're an HSP, I hope you'll hear this with fresh ears, because someone in your life is probably grateful for you in ways they've never put into words. Number 1, they know when you're not really fine. We've all done it. Someone asks, "How are you?" And we smile and say, "I'm fine." An HSP hears those two little words and immediately thinks, that's interesting. Not because they're suspicious, because something doesn't quite match. Maybe your smile looked a little forced. Maybe your voice was quieter than usual. Maybe you ordered tea instead of your usual caramel latte. Most people hear the words, and HSP notices the whole picture. Now, let's be fair. Sensitive people aren't always right. Sometimes "I'm fine" really does mean "I'm fine." And sometimes the missing smiley face in a text message just means your friend was in a hurry. We're human. We can overthink. But every HSP has had that moment when someone finally says, "Honestly, I'm really struggling." And the HSP quietly thinks, "I knew something was wrong." Not because they're psychic, because they were paying attention. Imagine how comforting it is to have a friend who notices you're hurting before you have to say a word. Number 2, they remember the little things. One of the sweetest things about highly sensitive people is the way they collect little pieces of your life. You'll casually mention that your mom has a doctor's appointment next Tuesday. 3 weeks later, guess who asks how it went? The HSP. You'll mention your favorite candy once. Suddenly it appears in a little gift bag 6 months later. Meanwhile, the HSP has absolutely no idea where they left their car keys, or their coffee, or why they walked into the laundry room. It's one of life's great mysteries. We may forget why we opened the refrigerator, but we'll remember your dog's surgery was today. Why? Because people matter to us. Those little details become part of the story we carry about the people we love. Number 3, they make you feel truly heard. Have you ever had a conversation where the other person was clearly just waiting for their turn to talk? We've all been there. Now think about the opposite. Someone who leans in, someone who remembers what you said, someone who doesn't interrupt every 30 seconds with, "That reminds me of what happened to me." Highly sensitive people often have a way of making others feel seen. In fact, have you noticed that complete strangers sometimes tell you their entire life story? You're standing in line at the grocery store, just trying to buy bananas, and suddenly you're learning about someone's recent knee replacement, their grandson's wedding, and the emotional journey of adopting a rescue cat. You didn't ask. It just happened. Apparently HSPs have faces that say, "Go ahead. I've got time." People don't always remember exactly what you said, but they remember how safe they felt talking to you. And that's a rare gift. Number 4, they celebrate the little victories. Most people celebrate the big moments. The promotion, the graduation, the new house. Those things deserve celebrating. But HSPs also notice the quiet victories. You finally made that phone call you've been avoiding for 2 weeks. That's worth celebrating. You survived a difficult family gathering without hiding in the bathroom. I'm proud of you. You cleaned one room after feeling overwhelmed for days. That's progress. Sensitive people understand that courage often looks very ordinary. Sometimes just getting out of bed was the victory. And they know that encouragement doesn't have to wait until life is perfect. Number 5, they care, maybe a little too much. Let's be honest. Sometimes HSPs care so deeply, it's almost a full-time job. You text, "I made it home." The HSP immediately feels relieved, because before that text arrived, they had already imagined at least 4 possible reasons you hadn't answered. Traffic, flat tire, dead phone battery, kidnapped by squirrels. Okay, probably not the squirrels, but you get the idea. When you matter to an HSP, you really matter. The challenge, of course, is learning that caring deeply doesn't mean carrying everyone else's burdens. That's a lesson many of us spend years learning. Healthy sensitivity says, "I care about you." Unhealthy sensitivity says, "I'll carry everything for you." Those aren't the same thing. Number 6, they help you notice the beautiful things. This might be my favorite one. Sensitive people don't just notice pain, they notice beauty. They're the friend who stops to admire the sunset, who sends you a picture of a flower because it reminded them of you. It gets ridiculously excited because they saw two baby ducks crossing the parking lot, who says listen when they hear birds singing after a rainstorm. Life moves so fast. Most people are rushing to the next thing. HSPs have a way of gently reminding everyone else to slow down, to notice, to breathe, to appreciate little moments that would otherwise slip away unnoticed. And honestly, I think the world needs more people like that. So if you're a highly sensitive person, I'd like you to hear something today. Your sensitivity may sometimes feel heavy. It may mean you need more quiet, more rest, stronger boundaries. It may even mean you've spent years wondering if you cared too much. But maybe, just maybe, the people who know you best aren't wishing you were less sensitive. Maybe they're grateful you're exactly who you are, because when life gets hard, they know you'll notice, you'll remember, you'll listen, you'll celebrate their victories, you'll remind them to look up at the sunset, and you'll stay. But, because your heart loves deeply, if learning to care deeply without carrying the whole world is something you're working on, I've created an in-depth course, the Empath Survival Guide. This course explores how to protect your energy, build healthy boundaries, and embrace sensitivity as one of your greatest strengths. You'll find the link in the description below. Now I'd love to hear from you. Is your best friend an HSP, or are you the HSP in your circle? Tell me in the comments which of these made you smile and think, that's exactly me. I read every comment, and one of my favorite things about this community is watching sensitive people realize they finally found others who understand. If today's conversation helped you see yourself a little differently, I'd love for you to join us. Subscribe, and together we'll learn how to protect our peace, embrace our gifts, and discover that maybe we've never been too sensitive after all.